What's up, Paracrews? I'm Paradomics, and welcome back to the testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith. I don't know why I keep coming back to this game. I don't know. It has just this adorable feeling, and his characters that's so unique to his own way. I don't know. It's very cool. It sucks I can't hang around with Parsnip and LaRose though. Like I can hang around with Belle, and we saw Belle in Parsnip in the game Parsnip, but we can't hang around with Belle and Parsnip and LaRose, which kind of sucks. I hate just seeing them and then never again, you know. But it is what it is, so here we are. Apparently in the last video, we've seen some creepy shit, and if you guys want to see that, go ahead. And now we owe some favor to this hyena named Heidi, and, well, here we are now. Sorry I'm late. I'm here now. Please don't tase me. Ah, Trix. I was about to call you. Good. Thank you for coming. I was worried you might be a deal breaker. And then I would have to tase you. I don't think that was a joke. Why do you have a taser anyway? Is that even legal? Probably. It's for self-defense, right? And a good company on lonely nights. Okay, enough fucking around. You have lots of work to do. She bundled me into her office. It was pretty small and completely cluttered with cardboard boxes. Okay, Trixie, you're going to help me with my side business, spring cleaning. We're going through these boxes and sort the junks into these two other much bigger boxes. This is the stuff to be burned box. She kicked a generic wooden crate soaked in petrol. I choose not to question her health and safety practices and just try to avoid breathing too much. And this is the stuff that might actually be worth money, box. She tapped in a sturdy metal safe. Okay, so what kind of stuff are we sorting though? Sorting through? Like extra sock? Or what? Just like old antiques and books. Nothing too important. Let's just get to it, okay? I want to close in time. You probably... Oh look! I forgot that there's like feathers in the vending machine. In the Black Crow. Oh, it's all tying together now. Maybe it like got away and was hiding here. I don't know. She dropped a cardboard box full of junk onto the desk in front of me. I stayed rooting around it and found it was full of trash. Mostly dusty books falling apart at the seam and probably old antiques. The more I looked, the more it became clear some stuff might actually be valuable. I pulled a golden bracelet out of the box and blew the dust off it. Engraved onto it is a strange fish-like face with a single opal eye that seemed to stare at me. Jeez, how much money do you make selling this stuff? Heck, where do you even get this stuff in the first place? This looks expensive. Heidi shot an annoyed look. Don't question it. So, a lot, and illegally. Got it. I chuckled myself. Heidi seemed unamused. I carefully put the bracelet into the safe. As I sorted through the box, it became clear there was a theme of Heidi's stuff. It was all some way arcane. Old magic books, spooky scrolls, and even what it seemed to be occult apparel like the bracelet I found earlier. Heidi, do you believe in any of this stuff? Monsters and magic, I mean. She looked at me for a moment, somewhat puzzled. Of course not. I've never seen any monsters or magic. But like, don't you ever get tempted to try out any of the spells in this book? I opened one for the thick, dusty tome and skimmed through it for an example. Before I could read, Heidi immediately slammed it shut on my fingers. Hey, ow! Okay, new rule. You don't look at anything for longer than it takes to work out if it's valuable. Got it? I nodded. No, I don't believe in this stuff, but... Look, I'd like to keep it that way, okay? I met people who like this crap and it messes with their head. This stuff is best left ignored. Ignorance is bliss. She got back to work. I envied her lack of belief. I hoped with enough time my brain could fully convince that what I saw that night before was just a heat and dehydration, a spore-fueled hallucination. But I think even then I knew the truth. Heidi seemed to know that we were only inches from madness and intended to never test that distance. We sorted through the boxes for a while, and most of the stuff was pretty uninteresting, but a few things caught my eye. A copper dust amulet, a shard of amber with a strange ancient bug frozen inside it, a long-distant ancestor to a modern bee, perhaps. A manuscript detailing a ritual to summon rain. And at one point, a Dungeons and Fungeons rulebook with Heidi's name on it, which was quickly grabbed off me and stuffed into Heidi's desk drawer. I was getting pretty bored. Some of this stuff looked really interesting, but I knew Heidi would snap at me if I tried to look into any of it. Fortunately, there was a sound outside. Someone walked into the shop. Heidi slinked over to the peephole in her office suspiciously. It's a customer. Trixie, you take care of this stuff. I'll go deal with a schmuck. She walked into the shop, snapping at the customer looking for something too strangely. Before the door closed behind her. I picked up one of the last items in the box, a small book titled Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Most of it seems to be missing, but there are a few pages left. It sounded kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like Heidi would get pissed if I drew that. But, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I decided to use this chance and flick through the remnants of the book. Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Across the world, hundreds of tablets etched into the identical spirals have been uncovered by the archaeological digs. Thanks to the bird mythology, these are popularly known as the Star God tablets. Though there has been speculation around the strange artifacts, the most obvious origins is clearly the humble sheep. Famously, every sheep has near identical spiral on their right front hoof, a strange evolutionary quirk. These exactly match the spiral seen in the supposed Star God tablets. As the Star Gods are without a doubt entirely fictitious. The most obvious conclusion is that ancient societies used to use sheep to produce strange art. Most likely, these etchings were painted when originally created, but any evidence of this has since long faded. Of course, some old bird legends would suggest the sheep created these themselves by pressing their feet into wet clay and allowing it to harden. This would make sense if not for sheep showing no signs of creativity needed to create such art, let alone the intelligence to produce clay tablets. That said, anyone who has seen the footprints of sheep can certainly agree that the process would be physically possible for them, if unlikely. This may merely be misinterpretation of the claim. It is entirely possible sheep were specially trained to perform this task, or had their hoofs used as tools for death. Other bird legends describe the supposed star gods themselves created these texts, hence the relevance to the tablets, though such stories are realms of fantasy. The large discovery of these relics were found in the ash of islands of Oceania, and would have fallen from the sky after being thrown into the air by the Great Dark Age cataclysm. This would make their original location the Siberian Waste, the supposed home of the star gods. Nevertheless, the theory is the ultimate the page ends there. The book has seen better days. It had been an interesting read. I threw it into the trash box. It wasn't long before Heidi was back. Sorry about that. The customers sort of pain. Hey! You finished. Nice work. She looked genuinely pleased with me. You didn't do a bad job. She seemed to think for a moment. Trixie, how would you like to help me out again? For money. I mean, your crowbar debt isn't paid. Oh, wow. I've never had a job before. Maybe? I wanted to help Heidi, if just to satisfy my curiosity about her strange inventory. But I also want to hang out with Greg or Belle. I wasn't sure if there was time for that too. So this is where the road will split. So there's 3 routes here, and there are 3 possible endings. I don't know if there are multiple endings. I want to hang out with Belle. You know, because she's like the recurring character, the character that came again. As much as Heidi and Greg are new characters, I want to know more about Belle. Sorry, Heidi, I've got some... Hey, no sweat, Trixie. You don't have to explain yourself. It ain't exactly the most exciting job in the world. Right, I better start closing up. Thanks for the help. I'll see you, Trixie. I wished her good evening and started to walk home to my bed. I could definitely use some sleep. I was walking past Wilbur Hall on my way to the bed when I noticed Nikita fumbling with the vending machine. She was trying to pull a bar of toffee millet out of its slot, but it seems to be stuck. She gave the machine a frustrated kick and the snack fell out. As she picked it up, she noticed me watching her. Oh, hello, Trixie. I'm on my way back to my room. I have to finish reading the... You seem almost scared to say it. The King in Yellow! Yes, The King in Yellow. Nikita seems skittish. Her usually tidy clothes was scruffy, her fur unbrushed, and her eyes flitted around the hallway frantically. Her consistent fidgeting made her look eager to finish talking to me and get back to her room. It was like she's been for a spin in a tumble dryer full of caffeine. Are you okay, Nikita? You look like a mess. Have you been reading all day or something? Ah, yes, I have. All day, yes. Last night, too. Preliminary research. It had been an illuminating read thus far. I need to read a little bit more, but... Trixie. She grabbed me by the shoulder, pulling close to me. I looked down at her scared eyes. I knew all too much about the reputation of the King in Yellow. I didn't want to believe it could have done this to Nikita, but this wasn't right. Trixie, I need to make some notes, and, I need to double check, read between the lines, but... No, never mind. We can discuss this later, when I'm certain. She let go. I need to get back to my room. There's... Yes. Good night, Trixie. She did a sort of shaky fast walk away from me towards the accommodation block. Bye, Nikita? I was scared. Could this really have been the work of that play? I shook my head. This had to have been sleep deprivation. She barely slept in weeks with her campaign planning and coursework. I didn't like Nikita, but I was genuinely worried about her health. I figured I'd let her finish reading it and get some sleep. Then I could make sure she was okay in the morning. I eventually got back to my room and collapsed on my bed. It had been a busy day. I was planning to muck about my laptop until I got tired enough to sleep, but it was on my desk and I couldn't be bothered to get out of bed. It's that feeling. It's like you're in bed and you're just like, I wanna get my phone. My phone's all the way over there. It can wait. It's like you don't want to get up. It's like you're in a perfect position and you feel so relaxed that you don't want to ruin it. I remember the book about ghosts I've gotten hold of a few weeks back. It was probably still on the floor next to my bed. I remember it was pretty tacky. Peering over the edge, I could see it was. After my sighting in the basement, I thought it might have been relevant. If I was going to stay awake for a little longer, I thought I may as well use my time productively. Before I could reach my phone buzzed. Tabby's had sent me a message. That was unexpected. I don't speak to Tabby often, which is sad because I kind of wish we were friends, but I don't think she really notices me. I used to think she was kind of weird, but after the last week, I have to admit I'm taking her more seriously. I wasn't sure if I could handle a conversation with her right then, but I did think it would be kind of nice to talk to someone. Grab the book. I mean, we can, message Tabby and grab the book later, right? Hey, Trixie! One of my Psyker crystals, the green spiral-lined one, went missing. I was wondering if you'd seen it anywhere. Smiley face? Hey, sorry Tabby, I haven't seen it. When did it go missing, though? Triple question marks. No worries. Somewhen today, I think. Oh no, I'll keep an eye out for it. Hey Tabby, do you know the King in Yellow? Sorry not to bug you. Just wondering if you're busy. If you're not busy. Oh yes, the infamous haunted play. I know it. I can't say I've read it though. Why? You researching it or something? I heard that's a generally bad idea. Not to discourage you, but I bet it would be great study for next year. Haha, no. I'm not going to read it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anymore. Wait, why am I called Trizzy? Okay. I was just wondering if you knew about it. You're a good student. Well, I have to be if I want to be student union president next year, right? I read a few books on it in the uni library. Maybe you could get them out. The few notes of the Grand Inquisitor Wilhelm were really good for obvious reasons. Anyways, I've got to go get some sleep. I'm going to the Wolves Fest South tomorrow in town. Going to be super hot in my costume, lol. Not in that way, you cheeky rats. Maybe you should come to WolfCon with me somewhen, if you're into that. Maybe. I'll let you get to sleep. Thanks, Tabby. I'll look out for your crystal. Oh, happy with a sad face. Tabby's nice, but I don't know if she likes me or not. I wasn't super keen on the idea of going to WolfCon. Dressing as a sheep and whiffing, or whatever they do in cons, doesn't sound super appealing. Regardless, it was time to sleep. I had a dreamless, but a relaxing sleep. I woke up feeling almost well-rested for the first time in weeks. I guess socializing has done some good. It was pretty early in the morning. I sent Nikita a message anyway. I didn't get a response. I assumed she has finally gone to sleep. I could check again tonight if she was still MIA. But if she was still MIA, I could let security or the campus doctor know she was acting funny. That said, I knew she wouldn't do the same for me. I lazed around bed for a while until I felt too gross to not shower any longer. Once I'm eventually somewhat functional, I decided to work out what I do. Oh, okay, now I get to choose Belle or Greg, which I'm gonna save in the third one. Here we go. Because like I said, I want to go to Belle, so let's go with Belle. I thought about Greg's invitation, but I did want to learn how to bake a Craig. Bake a Craig. Greg Craig, I get it. But I knew Belle was heading to North Acres today. Given its reputation, I really wanted to see it for myself. I just hope I hadn't left it too late. Then again, Belle didn't strike me as a particularly punctual herself. I sent Belle a message, and I expect she was still drinking her morning coffee. She said she picked me up on the way to North Acres. I quickly showered and got myself to at least vaguely presentable. Yesterday's encounters with Nikita and all, but forgotten. Belle turned up in her milk float a good 10 minutes later. Then she said she would be. It was a rickety old thing loaded with surprisingly small amount of milk. North Acres evidently didn't get through a lot of it. Hey Trixie, hope I didn't keep you waiting. No, not at all. But I sound so suspicious. Much. I bet. Well, you better hop to it. I hopped on aboard. I'll tell you to put the seatbelt on, but there isn't one. Tax reasons or something, the boss says. She shrugged. Still, the thing only hits 30 miles an hour, so you probably don't need to worry about that. Come on, let's get going. I was starting to think this wasn't such a great idea. We drove along the main road for a while. I appreciate the chance to admire the view. Eventually, we turned off into a bumpy countryside road. It was paved, albeit poorly. The milk float shook as it navigated the potholes, littering the tracks. What's the matter, Trix? You look like you were going to throw up. I probably did. I didn't handle bumpy rides too well. I didn't expect the road to be so bad. It turns to dirt pretty soon, which is actually an improvement. I don't know what you expected though. North Acres' reputation should have preceded it. You've got to be about the only person who actually wants to visit North Acres. I'll tell you, if I could get out of the milk run there too, there I would. Haha. I mean, half the reason I chose to move to Blue Hill County was because there were so many interesting places to visit. Well, that and I was a nice distance away from my parents. But I mean, North Acres had such a strange history and reputation. Besides that, there's a lake and the standing snow barrow, Cyber Draculas from Mars World, the best fan-made theme park for Cyber Draculas fans. So that's the whole point. She just wants to go to this. So I hear. And I keep meaning to visit the old bird settlement in the woods, Cacao Tree, and I've been interested in bird history recently. Tree, huh? Might be nice. Get some of the old-fashioned learning done. I'm more of a street-smart guy myself. Oh my god, what's with the background? I know this is gonna be a bumpy road, but you don't have to keep adding multiple backgrounds every time they talk. I know the name of every street in town. You gotta lie in my work. I don't think Belle knew what street smarts actually meant, or she was joking. It can be hard to tell with her sometimes. Belle was right. We hit the dirt road and the float stopped shaking. We wound up slowly upwards into hilly North Acres. Ah! Isn't that a pretty drawing? We eventually trundled into Ovington, the largest village in the area. It was about what I expected. It looked like it hadn't changed since the Dark Age. The buildings were old-fashioned, but kept surprisingly in good condition. It could almost have been mistaken for some normal village, if not for the strange effigies hanging around from every house. Cool! Very, very cool. Each was clearly handmade by the house occupiers, but they all depicted the same thing, an elongated prehistoric deer skull with a tangle of twigs for antlers. Long rags of black cloth hung from them like tattered cloak. I recognized the creepy things immediately as depictions of the altered antler tree, a strange woodland entity I'd read about in some library book about some local monsters and myths. North Acres is infamous for the workshop of it. The details were fuzzy, but I recalled it from some kind of harvest god. Supposedly it had provided food for the region during the long ash of storms of the Dark Age. Strangely, the area didn't seem to have any farms, no crops, no sheeps, not even imports other than Belle's milk. And yet, it still functioned. Creepy. Weird place, huh? It's like history or something. Like a history? Yeah, old rat. Oh, yeah, it's pretty old-fashioned and creepy. I bet they all vote for the conservatives. Sorry, I'll try not to inject too much political commentary into my statement, though I'm sure you all work for the university. You don't like the conservatives either. Oh, this is the developer talking. Well, I don't know. I've never been to a university, so I don't know what the conservatives are. Belle pulled outside an old house. It was an impressive stone brick building, way nicer than the town's crummy modern buildings. I kind of wanted to take a photo, but I remember last time I did that my phone briefly caught fire. Okay, Trixie, I'm gonna go hand out the streets milk. You okay waiting here? Sure, I'll wait. Plenty to look at, right? I was about to get another look at the poster when I heard the sound of smashing glass. I was briefly worried a local had thrown something at us. The way everyone spoke about them didn't exactly endear me to them. I turned to see Belle, milk and glass literally littering the ground under her. Jeez, Belle, are you alright? What happened? Who's, am I right? I've been wondering how she would pick up the bottle with her hooves. Cows aren't exactly famous for their ability to hold things. Belle managed to get hold of the other few bottles and made her way down the road. I've noticed a poster in the building next to me. It was hard to make out with my eyesight, but it looked kind of interesting. I hopped out the float, looking around. I was glad the street seemed to be deserted. I think I'd seen like one local scowling at us when we first entered the village, but no one since. The poster depicted the same entity as the effigies decorating the area. All residents are invited again to the Church of the Flesh Mother. August 20th, our Mass. Please bring gifts. Jesus Christ. Ew, Flesh Mother? Sounds a little natal to me. Gross. No wonder most cults died out once we've got the internet, and people had better stuff to do than worship a tree. What are you up to, partner? Went for a wander? I thought I'd stretch my legs. Are you done already? No. I've only done one street. I've got a few more here. Then there's Wilchurch, Oak Hill, Millsmith on Drought, Millsmith under the hill, and the Overton Church on the hill. Come on, let's get moving. Oh, creepy. We drove slowly between the stops, and all the settlements were largely the same, and on old houses, posters of celebrations and strange effigies. With the heat starting to beat down on me, North Acres were somewhat outstaying its welcome. So, was you studying our university? Like ghost houses? No. What? I mean, I wish. That sounds fun. No, I study regional histories and cultures, like local histories and stuff. I read some books about Blue Hill history back in college and thought it would be fun to learn about. Sounds fun. What job you looking to get into? I haven't thought that far ahead yet. Thinking's overrated. You should enjoy yourself while you're youngins, before the world of work crushes your soul forever. I'm pretty sure Belle only like a year or two older than me, so I didn't really appreciate her calling me youngin. Oh, hey, there's the effigy. Oh, that's pretty disturbing, huh? We rolled to a stop at the end of the long driveway. A brick gate decorated by another of those weird effigies guarded a long dirt path, which winded out of sight. A plaque confirmed that it was the church overlooking Overton. You okay to wait here, Trix? I gotta walk all the way up to the church to drop off the milk. Last time I took the float up there, some old guy yelled at me for disturbing the dirt. Oh, sure, I can wait. No! No, Trix! Trix, no! That's bad! That thing's gonna start talking to you. That effigy is gonna start talking to you, and I could predict it. I could just predict it, okay? I played your game so far, and I know that thing there is gonna start talking to you, okay? I don't trust no skull-shaped effigies. You got that, Trix? Belle climbed out of the float and grabbed a couple bottles. This time, she had only dropped one. Well, that's an improvement, I guess. She waved at me, then set off to the driveway. I slouched at my seat. Today had been interesting. The weather was great. It had been nice to get out after the last few months of staying in my room 24 hours a day. And perhaps, more importantly, after the weirdness of the last few days. Belle had up and vanished the track by now. I had no way of telling how far it went through the woods. I squinted, and I think, without my shitty eyesight, I would have been able to spot the church through the thick tree line. Suddenly, I caught a movement in the corner of my eyes. Yes, I also saw movement in the corner of my eye. The effigy had turned to face me. Ah! Had the wind blown it? I hadn't felt any wind. I don't think the wind is strong enough for the effigy to face directly at you? I shook my head. It was a creepy thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was hunted. But I'm sure the wind had just blown it towards me. No, that's too cool. If it's looking directly at you, that's actually a lot of signs. I sighed. This place was getting to me. I suddenly realized I had grown hungry and starving, in fact. I hoped Belle would be done soon so I can get some lunch. Sure enough, she soon emerged from the gate. Sorry for the wait, Trixie. It's been a long driveway. Oh, no problem. Want to get some lunch after a few last stops? Greg's? Greg's. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna end the video there. That was a creepy way. I knew that effigy was gonna turn to me. It was pretty obvious. And yeah. But yeah, now it's getting pretty interesting because again, this is where the sanity meter comes into play. Now we're gonna go crazy, psycho bonkers, but not crazy enough like Nikita. I think Nikita just went batshit crazy. Oh, poor girl. And also, I don't like the fact Nikita's a deer and then we're seeing deer's skulls and all that. Yeah, it's not good. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video here, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up, like button to death. Become a parkour today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
When the light is running low and the shadows
That's not a picture.
and the places that you know feel like fantasy.
I grow. Actually, let's keep my light on Petty. We'll calm her down, but actually, it's just she just doesn't want the light to be on her face the entire time. Well, too bad, because this is what we're gonna be doing the entire time. Oh God!